on. Hi, wrestling fans, and welcome to another compelling, award-seeking. I can't think of any other adjectives right now to describe AIWF Ringside Wrestling. We're finally back with you after taking a week off and some technical difficulties and on and on and on. But it's a Tuesday night, and if you're watching us live on Facebook, you could be watching us anytime on YouTube. But folks, we are getting all set. It's here. Fright Night is coming this Saturday night, Mount Airy, North Carolina. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty stoked about this. It's going to be huge, and a lot of things coming to a head.
Yes,
for Fright Night. Rick Diesel, our spookiest show of the year.
I think everybody knew that once I took back over, things would get interesting. You know,
and
it had to happen pretty quick.
Yeah, it did, and somebody's in there with him. Hey, Ginger.
Yeah, she's remodeling the bathroom.
Oh, okay. So
swear to God, that's what it is.
That's awesome.
I come home one day and from an event with the food truck, and she had tore one of the walls out of the bathroom. So,
hey,
it's bored.
Yeah, well, you get an improved bathroom, and you don't have to pay a professional to do it, and she'll do just as good a job because she knows what the hell she's doing. So, not a bad thing to have. Only thing is, though, can you use the facilities while she's remodeling? And is she doing it in a way you can still use it?
Yeah, that was one of the first things she done is had a professional plumber come through and make sure everything was still, usable.
Oh, okay.
Now she's in there running a nail gun. That's what that noise is the air compressor for the nail gun.
Nice. Well, you can barely hear it. You can hear it pop every now and then, but that's not bad. So anyway, as you can see, I'm being joined by Commissioner Rick Diesel, Brian and Reagan Danzig. Reagan is not feeling well. But she's hanging in there with us. She's toughing it out. And right.
She is a tough old bird.
Please don't say old. That's inappropriate.
Yeah, but in our exclusive before the show Facebook content, we gave everybody a lesson on old grocery stores in Mount Airy. So, I mean, if that's not something old people talk about, I remember and I catch myself doing it all the time now, riding through places, and I'll point because Jinky didn't grow up here. So I feel obliged to tell her, a long time ago, that used to actually be a McDonald's, and they had a great when I was a kid, my grandmother used to take me there. They had a great metal sliding board that you could really go down really fast.
I spend half my time in the past. I was thinking today, I was like, I need to send my two friends this message and ask them if they remember the time we went to the McDonald's in Martinsville and everybody, 5 of us ordered a 20-piece each.
Oh boy, I bet you they loved you guys.
Yeah, we had to go park and So.
Oh, you went through the drive-through? That was cold-blooded.
Yeah.
Well, it was kind of a spur of the moment thing.
Yeah.
One person ordered, and then another, and then it was the fajita effect.
Yeah, I think it was me, Brian, Billy, and then one of the other two. So
when I was hanging around Billy, he wouldn't eat anything but chicken. I mean, I remember that. I mean, nothing but chicken, no vegetables, no fucking hamburger, no hot dog, no pizza, nothing. Chicken and some variety.
You know who else is like that? Bad Brad. Bad Brad would only eat hamburgers, right? And he didn't like pizza. How do you not like pizza?
Well,
I don't know. I'm married to one of those weirdos.
Pizza. There for a long time. Yeah, he wouldn't eat pizza.
Strange bird. Well.
There we go again. Random content.
Yeah, we've moved back into Remember When, which was a great song by the Statler Brothers back in the 70s, if you want to look it up. And they're reminiscing about the 50s in that song. And I listened to it the other day. It popped up on my Apple Music randomly, and it was playing, and I was like, what a great song. And I was like, wow, old people been reminiscing about olden times, even way back in the 70s, and they're reminiscing back to the 50s. I wonder if there's any songs recorded in the 50s where they're reminiscent to the 30s. So, but I
I'm
hadn't,
sure.
I hadn't gone down that rabbit hole yet. But speaking of rabbit holes, completely unrelated, here we go with the card for Fright Night. I have not had time because I work a full-time job to put this on the PowerPoint. So we're just going to take it right off the AIWF Mid Atlantic Facebook page. Hope you don't mind, but we know us. We spare every expense. Kevin Phoenix puts the world TV title on the line against Mason Matthews. And Matthews has definitely seen a resurgence in his winning ways since coming under the wing of Seth Clayton Burns, I think. Any chance we might see a big upset on Saturday night?
Well, I don't know what Kevin Phoenix has done to get under Seth's skin just all of a sudden, but Seth reached out to me and said, let me make Kevin Phoenix's match for Fright Night. And I said, I don't care. Go ahead. So this is what he wanted, and this is what he's getting. So this is Seth Burns. I don't know. He just, like I said, he's got a burr in his bonnet about Kevin Phoenix for some reason right now. So I let him have it, man.
All right. Well,
Go ahead,
Brian. I'm sorry.
He does have an issue with Kevin Phoenix, but there's also the added bonus of a wrestler in Seth Clayton Burns Enterprises getting a shot at a world title.
Yes.
So if Mason Matthews walks out of that ring this Saturday with the world title, then it'll be a double victory for Seth Burns.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it will. But I'm afraid that he's going to be hard to deal with for a day or two afterwards because when he celebrates, he celebrates.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Are we talking about Kevin or Seth?
Seth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Seth,
if Seth gets a world title, I mean, can you imagine? God, it'll be so hard to deal with. But on the other hand, hey, you know what? It'll be all right because he'll have a world title in his stable there. So I don't care. I hope for him. I do.
Well, and it's always nice to have a world title, in the Mid Atlantic. And Kevin Phoenix is regularly here now. But it's not like Mason Matthews wrestles, out in Tennessee or down in Florida on a regular basis. We would get to see him a lot, and we'd get to, have regular world TV title matches. So either way this one goes is good. But I'm trying to think back. Seth Clayton Burns holds a grudge about as good as anybody I've ever seen in wrestling. I'm wondering that Kevin Phoenix, has he done something that you guys can remember in the last little bit that maybe humiliated Seth or made Seth look bad, that he would be wanting revenge? That you can think of?
The thing that comes to mind to me is when Ty Tyson needed a tag partner, he brought in Kevin Phoenix, and I think Seth was unhappy that felt that Kevin Phoenix was involving himself in his business, and so I think that that may not be the whole story, but it definitely didn't help.
Right.
Well, I told Seth, I said, I know you got your own thing going, and you're doing a really good job, helping me with the running of the Mid Atlantic. So I let him do his own thing, off to the side. It's little side projects. I don't care what he does, as long as he keeps his focus. When I need him, he's there. And so far, no problems.
I think this goes back to when Kevin Phoenix was $20 is $20. I think Seth was jealous that he wasn't the one to get to lick chocolate off of Kevin. So I think that's a deep-seated miss in his life. So I think that's why he's after Kevin Phoenix.
Hope that ain't it.
I have no comment. I love all our wrestlers, and so I want them all to succeed. Seth, I'm not going there, but it is funny.
Hey, I remember when I went to Vegas with Kevin that like a couple of times, that dude got some crusty feet. So I don't want to, I wouldn't want to be.
Well, either way, whoever walks out of this match, the winner, I think it's going to be a great contest, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Yep.
Yes,
Absolutely.
I agree with Brian.
Yep. It's hard to, yep. It'll be good. Also, maybe I'm going the wrong direction here. Let's see here. There we go. This is interesting right here. Joe Harrison defending against Matt Anderson, TV title on a pole match. This is for the Mid Atlantic Television Championship.
Yes, Mid Atlantic television title.
Yeah, in case you're confused out there. We're trying to go slow, so just bear with us. But Joe Harrison and Matt Anderson. Now, both these guys are a couple of fan favorites, but the last match ended in such controversy. I don't know, man. It's just Matt Anderson kept telling Joe, I had you, and Brian, you were there. I don't know if you called that match, but Matt, I don't know. Matt seemed like he was just disgusted by the whole thing, and he's got a rematch. That's great, but now the TV title is going to be on a pole, and that kind of match doesn't really favor Matt Anderson's style. He's not exactly what I'd call a high flyer. You know what I mean?
Well, Matt Anderson, I told him backstage at the last show, I said, listen, you have some potential in there. You just have to find it. He's got to reach down deep and find that inner beast that I know's in there. And what better way to make that happen than having to climb a pole to get a title? You know what I'm saying? He's gonna have to do things that he's not used to doing, and to keep Joe Harrison from getting up that pole. So maybe this will bring out of Matt Anderson what I know's in there. Sometimes you can't do exactly what the fans want, or you can't just be Mr. Goody Two Shoes. And if he's gonna win that belt, he's gonna have to do things he's not used to doing because of that pole. And that's the whole intentions of this match when it was made. For Matt Anderson to find what's inside, pull it out, and use it.
Well, we're going to find out, because these two, I mean, I don't want to call them best friends, but they do get along outside the ring.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
You can't get along with him if he wants that belt. He's got to put that aside.
Matt Anderson does get stickly about titles, that's for sure. He likes having that gold around his waist. He's always a more jovial Matt when he's a champion. Have you noticed that in the back if you go to talk to him? He's got gold around his waist, which, I mean, for obvious reasons. He's getting paid more to be a champion. But, I mean, I think he takes a lot of pride in being a champion. And I'm not saying that Joe Harrison doesn't, but just, I don't know, Matt kind of, he wears his emotions on his shoulders, or on his face. I don't know what the expression is. It's how you keep from having a stroke. You don't keep stuff bottled up inside. And when he's a champion, he's a happy man. And he felt like he got screwed last time. I think he's going to be determined. Joe Harrison's this is not going to be a walk in the park, because we've seen Joe Harrison roll through a couple of opponents since he became the television champion fairly handily. This is not going to be one of those times, I don't think.
No, Joe Harrison's going to have to work for this, and Matt Anderson's going to have to find something in him that he don't know is there. So,
well, we got a question in the chat. What's the price for kids? 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6-year-olds for bleacher seating, and 3 paying adults? Well, I don't know about the kids, but the 3 paying adults are $6 each for the bleachers.
And bleachers for kids under 6 is free.
Bleachers, all right. Bleachers for kids up to 6 years old are free. That's from Gracie Coleman. So thanks for watching, Gracie. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. But there you go. All right, moving on. Oh, now here's one that's going to be really interesting to see right here. For the AIWF Mid Atlantic Cruiserweight Championship, we've had 3 matches so far, all 3 title matches. Jeff Paul defends against the up-and-coming star Cam Isaac. And I'm really looking forward to this. Cam Isaac has come into the Mid Atlantic and just, really hit with a lot of momentum. We first saw him against Dante Khalifa, which was a hell of a match. It's on our I believe it's on both the AIWF Network and the Ringside Wrestling channel. If you have not checked that match out, just search Cam Isaac when you go to our YouTube, and you'll be able to track it down. It's absolutely spectacular. He won a 3-way match at the last show to win his way into this, and now he's going to face the champion Jeff Paul, who is no slouch, and he won that cruiserweight title from Buddy Flowers. Somewhat dubious circumstances, but he's a fighting champion, and he's going to be tested against young Cam Isaac. Rick Diesel.
Well, you know, a lot of people question whether or not Jeff Paul should have this belt over his shoulder there, because it's a cruiserweight title, and they question his eligibility, I guess is the best way to put it. So, but here's the thing. He was in that match. He won the gauntlet match fair and square. So I decided, which we've done it before. I don't know about you, Matt, but I know Brian remembers that very title at one time was held by the Intimidator, who weighed 400 pounds. So it has not been, it's not like this is a first. You know what I'm saying? So I went back to those, to that obscure rule, and I upped the weight just enough to where Jeff Paul can defend it. Let's give him a shot, just because he's a little over what most people would consider a cruiserweight. That don't mean he can't get in there and wrestle like a cruiserweight. I've seen him climb the ropes. I've seen him come off the top rope. I've seen him jump around. So let's give the man a chance. He's a very talented individual. So let's give him a chance. It's his first title in the AIWF Mid Atlantic. Let's don't spoil it for him.
Right.
Yeah, he is a very talented wrestler, and yeah, he's shown a lot of promise, and that hair and beard probably weighs at least 5 pounds.
You know what? He assured me that if it wasn't for the hair and beard, he would make weight.
Yeah, he's told me something like that too. He said he was only 1 pound over, that you only had to adjust the limit 1 pound for him.
Right.
So
there you go.
So anyway, so we're going to see what happens. Cam Isaac, not saying he hadn't had good competition since he's been here. Not saying that at all, but this is a championship match. This is his first championship match. Though we know he was trained by Lodi. Am I correct? So he's one of Lodi's guys, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we know he's got good training. So I don't know if you guys want me to reveal that kind of stuff or not. If not, let me know and I won't go forward. But no, he's got good fundamentals about him. So we're gonna see as Cam Isaac takes on Jeff Paul. Oh boy, here we go. This has been setting up since August when Corey Etzel and Mecca Mercenary ruined Richie Mitchell's Hall of Fame inductions ceremony to the Hall of Fame. And this is listed as a special challenge match. Is it just a special challenge match, or is it going to be for the Mid-Atlantic Tag Team titles as well?
I don't think the title should be on the line. Mainly because you're taking an unestablished. See, it's a fine line right there. And I'm sure that things could change. I don't know. If you want my opinion, I think Richie Mitchell, or Matrix as he wants to be called, because that's what he was near the end, that when he was wrestled last time. Him and Chris Tenney, they were a hell of a tag team back in the day, but that was back in the day. They haven't proven anything to anybody about whether or not they should be going for tag titles.
Right.
So that's my opinion.
Yeah, not that I don't disagree with you, because again, they haven't competed in a ring in years. However, they made the challenge for the titles, and Corey Etzel accepted that challenge. So I think that because of that, I think that they should get a shot at the titles. And
Corey Etzel, go ahead, Brian. I'm sorry.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, that's the only thing, because I wasn't expecting it to be for the title. When Matrix got on the mic and said that they were challenging for the titles, I was kind of like looking around like, what, really? like what's going on here? Nobody told me this. But again, he made the challenge, and then Corey Etzel, after his retirement announcement, when they made the challenge for the belts, Corey Etzel did accept that challenge.
Well, see, there is where the controversy has reared its ugly head, because we everybody knows that there's a committee that does these things. Everybody knows that there's a group of people that sits back in the back and decides matches and decides who gets title shots. And right now, it's kind of split. What you're listening to from me and from Brian is the consensus of two sides almost equally on this committee. And that's where we have run into this issue of whether or not the titles are on the line, which I don't think it's going to matter anyhow, because I don't see how, Matrix and Tenny can come back after all these years and defeat an established tag team anyhow. But I don't think it's going to matter. But if by some weird, wild chance that they do win this match, then it is going to cause a dilemma in the booking committee. We already know that.
Well, and the thing is too, I realize that I may be biased because I am good friends with Chris and Richie. We were really close when when they were actively wrestling, and we still stay in touch. And maybe I am biased, and I just think it's Fright Night. Let's just go for it and have it be for the titles, and then let the chips fall where they may.
And this isn't like two retired guys who've been sitting on their couches for 20 years and eating Cheetos and stuff like that. These are two really in shape guys. These are two guys that have been consistently in the martial arts scene just ever since they stopped wrestling. So like, this isn't like if we put Kool-Aid in the Hall of Fame and he came back as like, I'm going to take on Corey Etzel. That's not what we're seeing here. We're seeing two in shape, not in ring, but people who are doing, they're in shape and they look just as good as they did 20 years ago. And so I don't know. I don't think it's like a normal retiree person coming back into the ring. So,
and now if Kool-Aid did show up at Fright Night, now that would be a Halloween. That would be a Halloween.
My guess is he'd come as a zombie.
Yeah, no kidding. As
somebody had to say it. I love him to death. But he would expect that. As everybody knows, he has passed away. But he would expect me to say that.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he would appreciate
I didn't want to insult anybody that was living, because everybody gets mad at me and says, why are you so mean to me? Or why are you so mad at me all the time?
Because you're a very angry person, Reagan. But let's see. But no, I wanted to say, just mark this real quick for you. If you had good old boy Leroy McCoy as odd reference for tonight's episode, drink now.
The whole bottle.
A whole Mountain Dew bottle.
Hey, we were talking about you guys
spit in it afterwards.
Oh Lord. We were talking about 5 orders of chicken McNuggets earlier in the chat. AC posted he saw Lurch order 5 20 pieces for himself one time.
I believe it.
Yeah, I believe it too. The Lurch, his ability to eat.
A 50-piece would be, or I guess 100-piece.
Yeah,
would be like a 20-piece to him.
Yeah.
Well, it's like body camp when we all went to the all-you-can-eat pizza thing out in Johnson City, Tennessee that time, and he ate like 24 slices of pizza.
Yeah, it was incredible. Also, hello to Madison, who's watching on our Facebook feed. So, I figured out how a way to do keep an eye on all this stuff. So I'm learning. I'm a slow learner, but I do learn. So anyway, we'll see Saturday night if it turns out to be a tag team title match or no. We'll find out. I don't know. It's still being debated. Here's one that's interesting. Now, we've heard from the Soul Taker. He's coming to us from far away, and they're going to have a Buried Alive match. I don't know how they're going to build a grave inside Veterans Park, but it'll certainly be interesting to find out. Justin Flash against Soul Taker. Now, everybody's like, well, that guy looks like The Undertaker. Well, yeah, obviously he is a big fan, but he is a very eerie looking individual. And what video we've been able to round up on him, he's a very effective competitor. So Justin Flash better watch out. This guy's coming in from a long distance and he's looking for gold. And so, yeah, I do not envy Justin Flash in this match because aside from what he's seen on the internet, how do you do this? Brian, Rick, both of you, well, all three of you guys have wrestled. How do you prepare for an opponent that you don't have any intel on? What do you do?
Well, I mean, yeah, like you said, there are videos on YouTube of this guy, and so you study those as best you can. But Justin Flash has been doing this a really long time, and he's just gonna go in there and fight like hell, like he always does. I think the incentive of not being buried alive might help as well. I know that would be a big motivation for me. You know, it's bad enough being in a casket match, bad enough, but actually buried alive, that's a whole new level.
Yeah.
Well, when I decided, I was thinking about what I wanted to do with Justin Flash for Fright Night. And like you said, I was just breezing through the internet and I run across the Soul Taker and I was like, oh my God, what better way to celebrate Fright Night than to watch Justin Flash get buried by this guy? So I reached out to him and he was available. And I was like, I snatched him. I was like, come on down, son. Let's have some fun with Justin Flash.
I don't think Justin Flash is going to find this very much fun. Just my humble opinion, but
well, he's got a little ever since he got that belt, back from Jack, and he's been on this winning streak here lately. I feel like Justin Flash has, I think his ego's grown a little bit. His head might have gotten a little big. And maybe it's time to bring him back down to earth just a tad, even if it's earth you bury him under.
Wow.
Let's not only bring him down to earth, let's bring him a little deeper.
Yeah. Well, he's been champion for 14 months. I mean, a year and 2 months. I mean, he's been champion. So, yeah. So this is going to be a huge test for Justin Flash. We will find out Saturday night. If he is
well, the big problem with Flash is that he always pulls out these little, these surprising victories, these surprising 3 counts. So let's give him a match where a 3 count don't matter. Let's see what he can really do. Let's see what a champion he really is.
Well, if he takes that shovel upside the head, he might, be a little bit light when that match ends. I don't know, but it's going to be something to see. Justin Flash taking on the Soul Taker. And then, boy, this one plans to be wild. A Monsters Mayhem match, which basically means no DQ. Anything goes, is my understanding. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Or submission. Okay? Or it's basically you say I quit.
Yeah.
And the father of my grandchildren is in the match with a guy who I don't think speaks English. So how do you know if he's going to say I quit? Right?
Yeah,
and it's brilliant.
He's only lost one match, and that was to Justin Flash, and that was a close one. It could have gone either way. But Ty Tyson against Savage Kincaid, Ty is going to be in the fight of his life. I wonder if Ty Tyson, looking back now, regrets hitting you, Rick Diesel, even though it seemed like it was not intentional. But it certainly has had a ton of consequences.
Well, it's woke me up. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's given me a whole new attitude, and like I said at the last show, if he wants to be the father of my grandchildren, then I got to know that this man can take care of the situations that comes up, I need to make sure he's tough. And if he needs to go somewhere in the middle of the night and whip a bunch of guys because they said something inappropriate to Rose or the other girl, then I need to know that he can do that.
The other girl, and you're calling him father, and
yeah, he's the father of my grandchildren. That's a big deal to me. That is a big deal to me.
Yeah, just like you and Brian, he's got one of your kids is your favorite. He has a favorite grandchild. Rose is his favorite, and he clearly just demonstrated that by forgetting the name of the other one.
I do know the name of both of my children, so.
Yeah, but you still like one of them better than the other one.
No, that is absolutely untrue.
She's just saying it because they're probably both in the house.
No, they're doing whatever they do as teenagers, so.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was going to say anything, I'd be like, I don't like either one of them right now. But
See, that's just because you're sick. You feel
we're at a start. We're at a start, and they're twins. For those of you who don't know, so it usually means whenever they act up, it's usually extra diabolical, like even for their age. Because twins are evil. So, but I'm just teasing you, Reagan.
No, I'm not disagreeing at all.
Let's see if there's another. That's just in general, Universal Monsters. Yeah. So this Saturday night, come and join us. Bell time 7:30 at Veterans Park in Mount Airy, 691 East Lebanon Street, I think is the address. And so put that in your Google Maps and it'll bring you right to the park. And also, I understand it
might be West Lebanon Street.
It is West Lebanon Street. I'm sorry. But anyway, also understand there's going to be a costume contest for the kiddos. Is that in
12 and under? Yes.
And I'm sure there'll be candy to be had and all kinds of fun stuff. So
yeah.
Well, there's the trunk or treat that's from 4 to 6.
Oh, okay. All right.
The Veterans Park's doing that, and we kind of help them with it. So I know there's probably some of the wrestlers gonna come and pop their trunks and throw candy at people. So come on down.
That's I love the fact that it's not on Halloween night, so it doesn't interfere with actual trick-or-treating. It gives the kids a chance to double up and get a couple of good hauls. I always like that, like when they would sometimes cities would have trouble determining what was going to be official trick-or-treat night because if Halloween falls on a Sunday, some religious types take offense to that, and don't want them trick-or-treating. But the last time I remember that happening, at least that I can remember, in Winston-Salem, that city was just like, hey, you can go trick-or-treating on Saturday or Sunday, do whatever you want. Both nights are open for trick-or-treating. So be careful if you're out there driving. And I knew some people that took their kids out both nights. And let me tell you, I saw one of those hauls from one of those years that those kids had. It made me jealous. I never got that much candy in one Halloween in my entire childhood. So, so get all you can, kiddos. Get all you can.
And it's good for the parents when you drop those big bucks. They get to wear it more than once. So, costumes are not cheap anymore.
No. Gone are the days. Can't you still go into Walmart and get something for $6 though, if you're really on a budget, balling on a budget?
I mean, yeah, but I mean, you know how kids are.
Yeah. Yeah, why would Batman wear a shirt that said Batman on it?
That was Brian's thing about those costumes back then. But the plastic ones, it's that they always said like Batman or Spider-Man or $1 million. What? I don't know.
Hey man, back in the 70s, right after Halloween's when everybody had to buy new sheets.
Yeah, because everybody was dressed up like ghosts. I did that one year.
Ghosts everywhere, man, with eyes cut out.
Yeah, that was the best way. I mean, if you had old sheets you weren't using anymore, one year I was a white ghost, one year I was a light blue ghost. No, just kidding. Mama, if you're watching, that's just a joke. No, I did the ghost thing one year. I did mine after I saw E.T. because, remember they dressed Gertie up as a ghost and E.T. as a ghost, and I just thought that was neat. And so I wanted to do that. I'm dating myself. All right, here we go. Old folks talking again. Let's see here. let me mention our lovely, lovely sponsors, especially since one of them I know is watching. And we got to mention our friends at here it comes. Premier Auto Detailing, hands down the best car cleaning service in town. You can reach them at 336-736-2638. 336-736-2638. You can call them now and ask them if their refrigerator's running if you want to. Speaking of Halloween and a prank, but yeah, they can take care of that car. They can clean it up for you. If you just like me and don't like to wash a car and want to have somebody else do it, they'll be glad to help you with that. They can detail it all the way down with toothbrushes, clean it like that, or just a regular wash, whatever you want. They not only do residential jobs, they do commercial work too. So be sure and check them out. It's 336-736-2638 for Premier Auto Detailing, and the weather's starting to cool off, so you know you're not going to want to fool with watching your own car much longer anyway. Give them a call. They'll help you out. Be sure you tell them Ringside Wrestling sent you. Tees Creations Custom Apparel is the official outfitter of AIWF Mid Atlantic, and they are also your home to get custom-made t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies. It's getting cooler. Think about it, folks. The time to get on and get your clothes ready to be bundled up for the cold months is now, not later. And here's a look at some of their designs they have set up for the fall. They are all over the internet. They have a huge social media presence. They've got their traditional website at teescreations22.com. They're at Tees Creation by Allied Apparel on Facebook. Easy for me to say. TikTok, they've got a channel there. TikTok, Tees Creations. Just search Tees Creations on TikTok and on Shopify. So they are all over the place. Check them out. They can help you out with any custom made tee or sweatshirt or hoodie or, you know, any type of accessories. They've got tumblers. They do all kinds of stuff and have several designs for you to check out there. Coming on board recently has been our newest sponsor, Big D's Grill. That's another food truck that operates out at Mount Airy that specializes in Philly cheesesteak, chicken tenders, chicken wings, burgers, dogs, fries, mini donuts, and they got snow cones too for the old sweet tooth. They got you covered. And look at that good food. Oh my goodness sakes.
And Big D's Grill will be doing the concessions at the show Saturday night.
Yeah, that's right. So you get a chance to try out some new concessions at AIWF Mid Atlantic, and that looks so good. That burger right there, up there with the onions and the coleslaw on it, with that cheese just gooing off of it, makes this fat boy's mouth water right there. I'm telling you.
That's the double cheeseburger from Big D's, the one I tried my best to get him to name the double D's, and he won't do it.
Well, I can't. Yeah, I see where that would cause problems down the line. But yeah. So I mean, look at this. I mean, good food there. Oh, look at those hot dogs, man! And I love the fact that he toasts the buns, just a little bit black. So they got that.
Oh, he's got them. He's actually there. That's an older picture, and he's perfected that toasting a little better now.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I need to look and see if I can find some new pictures on his social media then. But anyway,
so the chicken wing flavors, he's now putting on the chicken tenders. So you get
about the sauce now. Okay.
You can get garlic Parmesan chicken tenders now.
Holy God. Oh man.
Wow. Well, who am I going to get to run and get me food now?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I still think it should be Seth.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to do that, not willingly. But anyway,
hey,
I don't know if you want him handling your food or not.
No, that's true.
Good point, Brian.
I think you sick now.
Yeah, I'm kidding.
I'm just saying, I'm the one that runs the camera. I don't have to record anybody doing anything.
But anyway, check out Big D's this weekend at AIWF Fright Night. We're sure you'll love it. If you'd like to join our club here and get your business over, inside wrestling term, we'll do reads for you for $10 a month, 4 episodes, nothing to it. just reach out to us via social media at the live events, whatever. We'll get you to the right person, and we'll get you all set up, and we'll get a read just similar to what you just heard there. 4 times a month. We take a week off. Doesn't affect you any. It's not going to affect your payment. None of that stuff. But we will put you on here. And every time we post a video to the AIWF Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel, well, almost every time, I missed one yesterday, we copy and paste your business's description and information into the description on each video. And we've got over 1,700 subscribers now. You know, a lot of our videos are getting viewed pretty good. So, you know, you get a lot for $10 a month. You do. We're trying to give you more than great value. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to just bend over backwards to give you like the most for every dime you could spend. That's our goal. We don't put wrestling behind paywalls, and we make it cheap for our advertisers. Very, very friendly to the working man and woman here on AIWF Ringside Wrestling. Well, news came out yesterday that Samantha Irvin was leaving WWE. Rumor mill around the internet today is that she could not come to terms with WWE on allowing her to do additional projects in addition to her duties there. The rumor is she wants to go into the music business, and something cool happened because of this. After 8 years, Lillian Garcia is back.
She broke.
Huh? Is she broke? Well, I'm glad she's back, because she's the last connection to Howard Finkel we still have. So, you know, for an old timer like me, you know, it was Lillian who kind of came. There was Howard Finkel was the main guy, then the Lillian Garcia era for ring announcing, and then it kind of Justin Roberts for a little while, and then Samantha Irvin, you know, kind of came into prominence. So it's kind of cool to have Lillian back. Now, she originally left because her father was sick and she went to take care of him. So they parted on good terms. But Lillian wished Samantha great luck on her music career, which Lillian, you know, she recorded a couple of albums. I don't know where you get them. I don't even know. They might be on
WWEshop.com.
Well, no, I don't remember seeing them. Man, let me see if they're on Apple Music. But anyway, thoughts on Lillian Garcia's return? Are you happy? Are you indifferent? How do you feel?
Well, I think this is going to be an unpopular opinion. I never liked Samantha Irvin's way of announcing. I just didn't. I thought it was way over the top. The one thing I did like about it, if it was true, you know, they said that she never wanted to know the ending of the matches, so her reactions would be very authentic. I don't know. I don't know. You know, that it's that same complaint about refs who like have over the top personalities. Like sometimes it's distracting. And I feel like in the case of some announcers, being too over the top is distracting. But that makes me an old person. So that's why I said it's an unpopular opinion. People will,
especially the internet, because Samantha is pretty, will go over the top to kiss her ass because they think they've got a chance somewhere, you know. Yeah, like because they're sitting at home, you know, and they really think that one day, you know, that Samantha's going to grow tired of Ricochet and they'll have a shot. So they go out of their way to overly kiss her ass. I enjoyed her as a ring announcer. I enjoyed her emotion. I will, however, agree with Reagan. A lot of times I roll my eyes over the years because she's so over the top. Alicia, the ring announcer for SmackDown, is the same way. Bless your heart. I'm sure you are a nice person. And when they put oh God, what's the guy's name? Mike Rome, the male ring announcer, when they took him off SmackDown and put him down to NXT and brought Alicia up to SmackDown, I was just like, why would you do that? He is such a good counterpart to Samantha Irvin because he does it old school. You know what I mean? He's into it, got a nice smile, into it, but he's not over the top. Where Alicia, I thought Alicia was good for NXT, for that crowd, you know, the kids, the younger audience that are watching the up and comers in Orlando. But you know, yeah, I mean, I hate to see Samantha go. She's good, but yeah, I can't disagree with you, Reagan. A little over the top sometimes.
I mean, you know, and I know some people like that, but you know, you think about if announcers over the history, and you know, people could say, I mean, people could make the argument that Michael Buffer was over the top, but you only had him for the main events, right? So,
well, not in boxing. He does the whole card if he's on a boxing show.
I mean, for wrestling, not just. Yeah. I'm not even going into the like that stuff. But you know, I don't know. I just, it's the same. Yeah, I figure she'll be in AEW, and I know we've had this conversation today, me and Matt, and
oh yeah, as soon as I see you, we're gonna shake on it, and that $10 is gonna be on the line.
$10. Well, he wanted to do 50, and I said, "Good Lord!" And he's like, "All right, you have children," so I said 10.
Well, I mean, if her complaint is wanting to have more time for other projects, AEW is the ideal place for her to go, because they allow for bookings, indie bookings, and don't have as rigorous of a schedule as WWE does. So I mean, it would be a better fit for her if that's what she's looking for.
Yeah. I think what she does if she goes to AEW will all be based on what happens with the music career. If it flops, then she'll have to go back to what she knows, and that's when AEW will come into play.
Well, I hope she didn't burn any bridges at WWE. That's my whole thing. I mean, they were very.
I feel like it's a little harder to do that now than it was.
I mean,
yeah, they were very courteous to her. You know, Joe Tessitore was very kind in his remarks, you know, on Raw last night. So, but Joe Tessitore is a consummate professional. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
You can't burn bridges in wrestling. You think you do, but you don't. So,
yeah.
Just I mean, the Ultimate Warrior got put into the Hall of Fame. So, I mean, that's the biggest like burned bridge. That would be like burning. I don't even know. Like that's like burning a world down, and he came back. So, I mean, you can't say after that. Even though I know that was the Vince era, but really, I mean, really, did anybody think that would ever happen? No. So, you just never know.
I don't know. I think Triple H had a big hand in that, you know, same way as he had a big hand in getting Bruno to come back and go in the Hall of Fame. You know, it's just, it's weird, but I mean, best of luck to Samantha Urban. I hope her singing career works out. We've seen her on social media. She can play the violin and the piano, and she can sing, she can yodel. I mean, she's multi-talented. So I know it's odd.
I mean, she is beautiful. So she has a good look for it.
Yeah. Ricochet's a good man to not be insanely jealous over those pictures she posts on social media, because she's definitely getting some eyeballs.
She wasn't playing in the waves, was she?
What playing in the waves? I don't get the expression. You got to dumb it down for us.
Yeah, that's an off. I'm not gonna say out loud. I feel terrible today, so that's why I sound so terrible.
The YouTube, we're too far in for the YouTube algorithm to get us. I mean, you know, and just unless it's something flagrant, you know, flagrantly.
It's all about exploitation.
Exploitation. Okay. Well, I mean, she's in self-exploitation, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, as long as it's self.
Right. As long as ain't nobody, you know, asking you to do something you might be uncomfortable with, and you know, and peer pressure makes you do it.
Yeah. Puff Daddy. You know.
Yeah. P. Diddy, whatever his name is this week.
You know what they're calling him on the internet now? There's a lawyer that does a vlog on YouTube that's called him P. Diddler.
P. Diddler. That's him.
Yeah, there's a lawyer in Minnesota that's calling P. Diddler, and I watch those videos every time just to hear him say it because it's so funny.
Speaking of hell freezing over, Jesse Ventura signed a Legends contract.
Yep.
I heard he's going to be doing some color commentary on the Saturday night show.
That's another one that I just never ever thought in my whole life I would see him go back.
But again, I used to like him till he went crazy.
Well, you know, he said that they asked him why he's going back, and he said because Vince is gone.
Right. Yeah. That's his issue was with Vince. So now that Vince is gone,
I wonder if they'll have to I wonder if they'll be like, well, Hogan can't come on the days that Ventura's here. Ventura can't be here on the day Hogan. I don't know how that would work out.
I mean, they would just have to be professional and just either not interact or just be at least professional around each other. They're old enough and don't want to mess anything up. I think they could at least be cordial to each other at this point.
Man,
I think Jesse
unless Ventura tries to start that whole union thing again.
I don't know if Jesse can resist that temptation. If they're in the building at the same time, he's going to walk right up to Hogan.
I would love to see us in a couple of months looking at backstage footage of him punching out Hulk Hogan. I
hope he wouldn't be that stupid. They're both too old for that shit, you know. But it would still be funny to see him walk up to him and go, "Why did you snitch on me to Vince?" You know, for trying to start a union back in '86. Good Lord.
Because I was the one making the big money. Yeah. That's why.
I didn't want to upset the apple cart.
I didn't want y'all to get my cut. That's why I didn't want a union.
Oh my God. There's been a lot going on. Like, did you see where Rikishi was threatening what is the dumbass's name? Vince Russo.
Yes, Vince Russo.
Everybody threatens Vince Russo.
Yeah, but I'm talking about
what did he say about Jay though? He said something about
Jay. So he said the gist of it
gave him a back scratcher.
Yeah. I have one in there too. I need to get it. We can all scratch our backs.
Got one for Chris, handmade in the Philippines. Yeah, handmade in the Philippines.
So Vince Russo pretty much said there was no reason for Jay Uso to get emotional about winning the Intercontinental belt because it doesn't matter. Because this is the part where we break the third wall or whatever. He was saying it's just fourth, whatever. See, I don't feel well. So he said it's just a prop and you shouldn't care about a prop. And so his emotion, he pretty much said his emotion was stupid. And then
Vince Russo is a prop.
And that's the thing. It's like, you can say yes, that a belt is a prop. Yes, you can say that. But if you get a chance at it and get it in those big organizations because they think you're good enough to pull that storyline off. Right. So in essence, yes, it is a prop, but they wouldn't want you doing it if they didn't think you were worthy to hold it.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It is a sign of prestige to get a title. And what does Vince Russo, what did he think he should do? Win the belt and be like, yay, yeah, I won.
I mean, wasn't he part of the finger poke of doom? Wasn't that his? Or did Jeff Jarrett just do? No, that was Kevin
Nash.
Kevin Nash. What was the Jeff Jarrett one? He just laid down, right, to Hogan.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because my thing is, my thought on the title being a prop thing is, you should be excited if you win a title, because it does mean that company believes in you and they want you to represent them with that title. However, my thing is, don't be mad when they take it off of you, because when they put it on you, that means eventually they're going to take it off, and don't get mad when they do. Yes, it's the other guy's turn. You think you should have it longer, fine, but they don't. The people who made the decision to give you the belt made the decision to give it to somebody else. And so that's always my thing is you can be happy for winning a belt, just don't be mad when they take it away.
And they took it away because Braun Breaker is your new Intercontinental Champion as of last night. Vince Russo seems like for years had just been able to stay in the wrestling fans' mindset by just stirring up trouble. And he's the reason that I don't listen to Busted Open Radio is because he's there. You know, any type of show like that loses credibility to me as a fan. And we do this show. Who are we? A bunch of indie guys? Yeah, but I'm talking about just as a fan. I only listen to wrestling podcasts when I believe that their person is not motivated to lie to me. Jim Cornette, he's not going to lie, whether you like him or not. He tells us what he thinks. And he actually stated a few weeks ago that he's made more money on that podcast with Brian Last in the last few years than he made at Jim Crockett Promotions and WWE put together. So
I'm sure.
Good for him. Dutch Mantel, I don't think he has any reason to lie. He just said, because when he does lie, the lies are so big, him and the host both just bust out laughing. Right. So he will say flagrant lies like, yeah, Vince used to come to me to ask me to help book WWF all the time when I was there, which isn't true. And then they bust out laughing, But so I kind of trust Cornette. I kind of trust Mantel. But Vince Russo, man, he got Rikishi all pissed off just for clicks, and I think it'd have been better if Rikishi ignored him, but Rikishi doesn't seem like the kind of man to me that if you got something to say about his family, that he's gonna not like it.
He said, "Keep my son's name out of your mouth."
Yeah,
he's gonna walk up on stage, slap it.
Yeah,
I mean, what's so funny though is like, if Vince Russo is responsible for some of the worst things in wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
keep in
would
mind,
everybody agree with me on that?
Keep in mind, and this is my opinion, but I did a video on this a long time ago. Vince Russo tried to start a wrestling organization that was Christian based, and in my opinion, it's my personal opinion, he done it just to scam churches.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
A lot of people forget about that.
I remember now that you brought it up. I remember that video.
Yeah, because his people contacted me to give me all grades of shit over that video I did about that.
It didn't work.
Yeah, he's just one of those ones.
It didn't work because it was a scam. He was scamming churches. To this day, I believe that.
Yeah. Well, sometimes I see churches having wrestling shows, and that always puzzled me because I grew up in a Baptist church, got good professional Christian training by a Baptist minister, been baptized. I ain't worth a shit for an example today, as I've said many times, but I mean, I don't picture Jesus walking into a wrestling match. I mean, yeah, if he walked into a wrestling match at Veterans Park, he'd probably just be glad that everybody was enjoying themselves. But in a church, I think he might be like, what does this have to do with me? But, because,
I don't think
Jesus always used violence to solve his problems.
I don't think wrestling and religion go well together. I mean, it's okay to be religious and be a wrestler, but mixing the two, it kind of defeats the whole purpose of love thy neighbor.
Yeah.
Till you get him in a headlock and poke him in the eye.
Yeah, you remember that time when Jesus and the apostles were on the road to Damascus and some guys jumped
out a steel chair.
Yeah, Jesus poked a robber in the eye.
Jesus did F stuff up when he went to that bazaar that was on Sunday. He's throwing tables around and stuff then.
He was getting rid of the money lenders from the temples, which was a good thing to do because that was beyond
He just turned
sleazy.
the tables over. He didn't put anybody through them.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That was something else.
Power bombed one of the Pharisees through one of the merchant tables. Then you might have a point, but he did not.
That's why the disciples turned on him.
Just the one.
Just the one.
That one went heel.
It's like Kurt Hennig, with the Four Horsemen. Like you had that big sketch, and then the very next big show, Kurt Hennig is the one that turned on the Horsemen. Yeah. I know the other thing Brian and I watched recently, the heroes of Burke County Wrestling.
Oh my goodness!
Jesus.
Oh my God, it's the best thing I've ever watched. It's on YouTube. It's through High Spots had done it, I guess, years and years and years ago, and it was Jake Manning, and it was Little Donnie. I don't know if any.
I know Jake Manning. I've seen him wrestle before. I think he's pretty good. But I saw that, and
he was the guy doing the show, not the wrestling.
Yeah, oh, I know he was hosting it, and I got about 2 minutes into that, and I was just like, "Oh no, we ain't doing this."
We watched the whole thing. Of course, we did.
Yeah,
y'all like all that banners.
Hey, if there's any like aspiring filmmakers out there who wants to do a documentary on a wrestling company, take on the AIWF, buddy. 33 years of crazy wrestling. I don't know if there's anybody got it in them to do that and do it right.
Yeah,
because it'd be a 9-hour documentary.
Well, yeah, you wouldn't be able to,
to do it justice with all the stuff that we've been through in 30 plus years. I really don't think there's a I do feel like that if somebody did take it on and somebody did do it, it would be a hit. But I just don't know if there's anybody out there that's not a massive professional filmmaker that could take this on and do it justice and do it right.
To be done right, it would have to be 6 hours, and that's
at
not.
Least.
It could be a series.
Yeah,
it had to be a series on Amazon or something.
Yeah, but I don't know that any of the content. Well, Netflix just did a 6-hour wrestling documentary, but that was about famous people. I don't know if anybody was watching.
Well, last year the OVW.
But it also,
but only wrestling people watch that. I mean, I don't think that had like much mainstream.
Yeah, but think about it. Think about how easy it was to do OVW. That 90% of it was filmed in one building.
Yeah.
To do the AIWF justice, the first 10 years you could do, interview the legends, me, Brian, Dave, Smiling Diamond Dave, all these guys that's still around from the 90s. But once you get into the early 2000s, then what do you do? What do you do then when we started the expansion program? When we went into Tennessee and Ohio and West Virginia, that first few years of the affiliate program. Yeah. And what do you do now when there's literally 150 promotions in 49 countries? How do you do those interviews? I mean, there's Zoom, naturally, but this is very time consuming. And you've seen the library that's on all these hard drives that I have laying around here and DVDs. I mean, I got just DVDs, but here's one.
Yeah. And we're trying to get all this stuff on YouTube.
Footage? How do you find footage? Come on. I dare any filmmaker out there who wants a task that I don't think they can handle, give this a shot. I don't think there's one out there with balls big enough to do it.
Yeah. Because I don't know. I don't know how. I think it would be interesting. I mean, I found out this week that Louis Theroux, the one who did the documentary on the AIWF back in the day, has a Watch Mojo countdown list on one of the biggest YouTube channels that there is, watchmojo.com, and they do the top 10 times Louis Theroux went too far. And I had no idea that fucker was that famous. Like,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He still does stuff now. He still has a show on BBC now.
Yeah. So
keep in mind, remember in 2020 when I went to England, and one of the promoters over there literally told me to my face that the Louis Theroux documentary they done on us in 1999 changed wrestling and changed independent wrestling in the UK. Wow. That was his words.
Yeah.
That and does Brian still pair socks? That was the big questions of it.
I saw that on Reddit also because I found a Reddit about that episode. and people were
Really?
talking about it and asking about it. And so I chimed in on it. And that was one of the things, like, what if he still folds socks?
Hey, I'm telling you, I told Brian's kids one time, I said, he's big in England. Your dad is big in England. They looked at me like, oh, come on.
Man, just for you folks out there that don't know, if you're tired of paying for OnlyFans, you can usually find that stuff on Reddit if you just know where to look. So get to it, save yourself some money.
Yep.
Don't ask me how I know that. I'm a happily married man. But let's see here. Okay. Let's go ahead and do our other sponsor reads real quick. Let's see here, and we'll start off Branch Management. They're our first sponsor. They're our oldest child, so they're a favorite. Those of you who have brothers and sisters know the oldest is mom and dad's favorite. If you don't know, I'm just letting you in on it. But we've been having some cooler nights, but it's still staying warm in the afternoon. So you're going to have to get that grass cut a few more times this year, but October is the time to plant, and Branch Management can help you with that. Of course, they cover all of your favorite yard tasks: pressure washing, general contracting, gutter cleaning, whatever. They can help you around the house. So if you need a handyman, come around, 336-648-2487, 336-648-2487 for Branch Management. If you want to get a tree in the ground for next year or a shrubbery, anything, now is the time. Give them a call. Do not delay. 336-648-2487. T's Treats, the most delicious food truck ever, except maybe for Big D's, is a locally owned food truck based in Mount Airy. They got great pizza, delicious dogs, decadent desserts, got mini donuts. They are available for any kind of event. They just did Autumn Leaves a few weeks ago, which is that biggest street fest in Mount Airy every year. You can see where they're going to be at facebook.com/T's Treats, or reach out to them directly at 336-755-8204. That's 336-755-8204. They are T's Treats. And just anything new on the menu lately, Rick Diesel, that's kind of taken off with the folks. Okay. We'll keep moving. T's Treats, official concessionaire of AIWF Ringside Wrestling. I don't see the feed here. Lillian Garcia, as a matter of fact, does still have has a CD that came out in 2007 and an EP and a single that came out back in 2019, in case anybody was wondering. Let's see here. Let me move on to Secondhand Heroes and Home for Wayward Villains. Is a gaming store that also features collectible toys, retro gaming consoles, and games, as well as free-to-play arcade cabinets. They host Magic the Gathering tournaments, casual play, as well as tournaments. They also host Dungeons and Dragon campaigns several times a week. Located at 18184 Leesville Road in Evington, Virginia. Secondhand steer. I am having problems. I am sorry. Secondhand Heroes is your one-stop shop for you to get your nerd on. Open as 7 days a week at 11 a.m. They don't close until the dice stop rolling. They close as soon as you throw the first pair of dice. They close. No. They buy, sell, trade, barter, and haggle, specializing in collectibles of all types, both vintage and modern. Table space available for Magic the Day. Boy, I am having a worse time with this. Look, you can sit at the tables and play Magic the Gathering, Dungeons and Dragons, whatever. If you want to bring a Monopoly board in there, they'll probably let you play. You'll need to reach out to them and call them first to set it up. They feature older console games like Nintendo and Sega classics, as well as 25 arcade cabinets with hundreds of your old school favorites, all set to free play. Our Monday night D&D group has been running for over a year, and they welcome newcomers, both experienced and inexperienced. They also host game competitions for games like Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Mario Kart, Super Smash Brothers, just to name a few. Something for the gamer and collector in us all. Call to make arrangements for your game night at 434-317-0121, or shoot us an email with any questions at secondhandheroesva secondhandheroesva@gmail.com. That's secondhandheroesva@gmail.com. You don't want to spell out the word second. Use the abbreviation 2ND. Secondhandheroesva@gmail.com. And certainly want to check them out. There's a couple of tournament trophies belts there. Again, one more time with that phone number, 434-317-0121. All right. So that's coming up. Big time Saturday night. Fright Night is coming up. Anything you guys want to say before we maybe start to head on down the road?
I feel like there's going to be
I just want to
Saturday night that's going to be weird.
Yeah, it's again, like I've said about Fright Night in the past, it's not just a wrestling event that happens close to Halloween. It is a Halloween event. You know, we decorate it for Halloween. We have a lot of Halloween themed matches, like the Buried Alive match, and you know, the monsters match, and you know, and then we have the costume contest for the kids, and so yeah, it's it's a Halloween event. So you know, I encourage everybody to come out and have a good time, see some good wrestling, and have some good Halloween fun.
Yes.
Yep. And free candy, because the trunk or treat's going on before the show. So bring the kids.
Yeah.
Get that candy. Yes,
yeah, exactly.
Indeed. Always a lot of fun. I love the Burr month holidays. They call them, that's what they say in the Philippines, the Burr months, starting in September, October, November, December. So the Burr month holidays, the fall holidays, are my favorite. You know, and they just, you know, it starts off with Halloween, free candy, pumpkins, ghosts and goblins. That's fun. Then it's fat guy Christmas, Thanksgiving, where you just, you know, feast like hell. And then the real Christmas, which you feast like hell again. And there's a lot of pretty lights. So next 3 months are pretty awesome. It's about my favorite time of the year. And you got football going on and all these wrestling shows. It's just, I know that, you know, some of you guys are not football fans, but for those of us who are, that's the most wonderful time of the year. But anyway, yeah. So, any final words for our fans before we get out of here? I would say, come on out to Fright Night Saturday. It's going to be great.
Yeah, that says it all right there. Just be there, be ready for some interesting stuff. You never know what might happen. Surprises, and have fun.
Yep.
Be there, be square.
Yeah. That's more of a rectangle, but okay, I tried.
But a rectangle, well, a square is a rectangle, but a rectangle is not a square.
Really?
Sorry. No, all squares are rectangles, but not all rectangles are squares.
Yeah, just like all birds are cats.
Mm-hmm.
So you look that up on YouTube.
No,
all
I'm
birds
serious.
are cats. Put it in there.
Because the only thing that makes a rectangle is it has parallel lines.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Geometry is hard. All right. Well, we're going to get out of here, folks. Thanks for joining us on this Tuesday night. Hey, we finished up. You're not even going to miss the beginning of NXT. So great. Oh, that's something we need to mention real quick. We were talking about it earlier today, chatting. On November 6th, I think NXT is going to be doing a taping at the old ECW arena in Philadelphia. Tickets went on sale this morning and they sold out this morning. I have never, ever, and I know it's a small building. I know it's only a few hundred people, but I have never seen NXT tickets go like that. You know, I mean, and just a place to sell out the same morning, like just for a regular event, not even a Peacock event. I mean, it's kind of crazy. So I thought it was kind of cool. What do you think the atmosphere? Let me ask, go around the horn. What is the atmosphere in the ECW arena going to be like? Is it going to be raucous like it was in the 90s with ECW? Or are all those people now grown up and are going back for nostalgia, and they're going to have to put some extra polydent on their dentures to keep them in, and get the walkers ready and all go in there and hopefully not fall asleep before it's over with? What's going to happen?
I don't think it was the individual people. I think there's something about Philly crowds that just make them they're just a whole different kind of wrestling crowd, because you could see it when WCW went to Philly, like that it was just a different kind of crowd. And so I think that's what NXT is going to get is a Philly crowd.
Yeah,
Right.
I have to admit, I've always wanted to go to Philly and just see a wrestling match, even if it's WWE. But this got to be a thrill for them to be able to go back. I mean, they've been having independent shows in that building for years, but still,
Yeah, it's not like this is something new.
yeah.
I mean,
But it's good to kind of go back to some roots of wrestling, especially an area where wrestling was such a big deal. You know, I like to see how the crowd responds.
You were talking about WCW.
I think they'll be all choked up.
It's funny. It's funny. I was watching Halloween Havoc '89 just the other night, and that happened in Philly. And I don't know why, but the Philly fans were really into Lex Luger and Brian Pillman on that show. I mean, which you were in Philly because when Lex Luger came out, they popped for him and they were cheering everything Lex did, right? And Lex was the bad guy, but just how they came up for that match and the whole match, they are just rowdy. And they were rowdy like that during the Road Warriors and Skyscrapers match, but even during the main event, they weren't as rowdy as they were during that Lex Luger Flying Brian match. And the match is, I think it holds up. It's good, but it's not like it's an all-time Matt classic. I don't know. Next time you guys get a chance, watch that match and listen to that crowd. Tell me what you think. Because it was odd to me because I was just sitting there watching. I looked at Jinky. I was like, here are those. And one thing I've never noticed about this match over all these years is the people in Philly are really fucking into this shit for some reason.
That would be the thing that would always happen though when they went to Philly and stuff like that, is they would always, what is that one show where they were pulling, where it was a tag team match, and
it was the Freebirds against somebody. It was.
I don't remember where they were at though.
Yeah, I can't. It was Philly,
but it was Freebirds against somebody. But they were trying to. Freebirds are supposed to be the heels, and that crowd just was not having it. They were not. They were just marking out for the Freebirds. So
that was a WCW match. Weren't they teamed up with Arn Anderson and they were cheering the Freebirds and Arn Anderson? Yeah, I can't remember what event that was, but that was great. That was great. Yeah. I'm trying to think another Philly. Another Philly oddball. Oh, Halloween Havoc 92, which is like, if you want to watch a bad wrestling show, that's the one for you, because there's really not much redeeming about that entire show, except when Medusa and Paul E have their thing.
Oh,
yeah, you hear a Philly crowd quiet as a mouse that night. They had come with so much hope, and the match after match went by and they were bored. And that might have been the same show that Arn Anderson Freebirds match was on. 92 would be about that timeline, right? And maybe that's the one it's on. But I remember they were quiet for most of that show. But when Medusa and Paulie had that thing, and he said some of the shit, which in the early 90s to say on a WCW wrestling program, the things he said to her, the insults he said to her, was like stuff you did not hear at that time. That place came unglued. And I always found it hilarious that they went crazy for that interview segment. And when the next match came out, quiet again.
Is that the you're a woman, and I'm a man, and then she kicks him in the head. Yeah.
Yeah, and the place just blows.
Because that whole thing before that, it's talking about he hired her to take care of all of Rick Rude's needs, and he could get any, did he say any hooker to do it?
Yeah.
Or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's when as Paul Lee tells it, he walked back in the back, and Bill Watts looked at him and earmuff at people if you're sensitive, because I'm going to say exactly what Paul Lee said the quote was. He said Bill Watts looked at him and he goes, "Great. The most popular thing on my show is a kike and a cunt." And I'm just like, oh, Paulie actually filed a complaint with HR. He says he filed a complaint with HR about that comment. I don't think he was out of line for doing that.
No, not at all.
Because I mean, that's a little sharp, Bill. I mean, I know you're frustrated the crowd's not into it, but God almighty, man.
If you want
be glad to get popping off.
That's the thing, is like we talk shit about Vince Russo, but goddamn, that Bill Watch years of WCW, those are hard. Those are hard to watch.
Boy. They're rough. Which, I mean, he did turn them around financially. They stopped hemorrhaging money while he was there. I mean, you know, he did do some stuff right, but he pissed off the boys and chased away some fans and insulted Hank Aaron.
Well, the other, God. See, because like what was the worst is, you couldn't come off the top rope unless it was an NWA sanctioned match, which made things very confusing. So like it was something else, and but those are some interesting years if you want to watch some interesting WCW years. So
Bill Watts' heyday in promoting was definitely in the early 80s and Mid-South. Let's just say that. I understand what he was trying to do in WCW, and I'm still despite all his flaws, a big Bill Watts fan. And I think Ginger made Rick Diesel turn off his camera and get out of here. So, but anyway, I'm still a big Bill Watts fan. You know why? Because everybody fucks up, everybody makes mistakes, and nobody's perfect. So, get off your high horse. I mean, I'm not going to, he did say those things, and they're not nice things to say, but you know what? Overall, as a wrestling promoter, he was pretty good. And a lot of people that worked for him made a lot of damn money, and ended up going to WWE and bigger and better things. So, hey, it is what it is. Although I would never want to meet him. It's one of those never meet. I know I'd be disappointed. He'd say some damn sideways shit to me, and I'd just be like, well, the aura is gone. But that's what they say, never meet your heroes. And I'm not saying he's one of my heroes, but I wouldn't even meet any celebrity, honestly. The only cool person.
Oh, go ahead.
Not in wrestling.
I'm going to say, though, every Kevin Nash experience I've had has been wonderful.
Well, that's good. That's good. The only celebrity I ever met that was, Vince McMahon was kind of cool. Shane and Stephen, they were kind of cool, but you could tell they were tired and just wanted to get the hell away from us. And so I felt bad for bothering him, and I've never stalked wrestling people ever again after that. But the coolest celebrity I ever met was Bobby Allison. I ran into him, but I didn't know that was going to happen. That just was happenstance. I was at the NASCAR Hall of Fame, and he was down there for an event, and I was looking at a display that had something to do with his career. And you know how you feel when somebody walks up next to you, and I looked up and he's standing right next to me. And I never thought I'd be starstruck by no race car driver, but I was. And I just went, oh, fuck, it's Bobby Allison, right to his face. And he goes, well, hey, it looked like it made his day. Like, not only did I recognize him, I was starting to lose my shit a little bit. He's been retired for what? Since 88, he had his accident. And so, he's been retired for 40 fucking years. And so I had to work up the guts to go ask him for his autograph. It wasn't until my wife was like, Matt, he wouldn't be here at the Hall of Fame mingling around with race fans if he wasn't prepared to sign a few autographs. He wouldn't be here. Ask him. And so I went up and asked him, and he gave me a little card with his autograph on it that had his fan club information. And so, yeah. So, but that's my cool story.
My only wrestler that I ever met that was not nice was Kurt Hennig. Everyone I ever met, he was the rudest and most hateful person. Like, he was just rude. So, but every other one, and we met a lot back then, were very friendly and very nice.
Well, but you were girls, I guess. I got the same reaction if a dude ran up there. So, it could probably get the kind of reaction that Puff Daddy got when he asked 50 Cent to go shopping. If you hadn't seen that, look it up on the internet. That's pretty funny too. That's probably how I'd react if some other guy asked me if I want to go shopping. Jesus Christ. But anyway. But anyway, that's all the wrestling I got. Anybody else you got any more stories you want to let go before we get out of here? Okay.
No, I would suggest watching Kevin Nash's when they forced him to do commentary on Thunder one time. If you can find that, that's really interesting to watch.
That would have been.
It was apparently he was trying to retire, and he was like, I guess, and so it's him straight shooting the whole time, and it's him and Mike Tenay and Larry Zbyszko. And Mike Tenay's just like, yeah, welcome to Thunder, the shoot Thunder. And like, and Larry Zbyszko and him are just going off on Hacksaw Jim. It's funny. It's hilarious. And
well, they knew nobody was watching it. So, I mean,
yeah, but it was fun to watch. So,
yeah. I remember going to a Thunder taping one time at the Joel Coliseum, and like there was the ringside was full, but that was just about it. Like our tickets had been won off a radio contest, and they were up in the balcony, but we just walked down casually, to the lower level and like just sat where we wanted to. And
Billy and Vera went to one that was like they call it the Super Marathon Thunder. I think they taped like 2 or 3 Thunders.
Oh my God.
Time. It might have just been 2, but they said it was like hours and hours and hours and hours. So
that's like going to an AEW taping, because they tape Dynamite and Collision on the same night and Rampage on the same night now. And I can imagine, ooh, man, and their pay-per-view, the last one lasted 5 hours, Cornette said. He might have been exaggerating a little bit, but I know they usually last right up till midnight. Like they have, when I bought that one from Greensboro where Sting was on the last match, that pre-show started at 6:30. Pay-per-view started at 8, and they went off the air at midnight. Jesus, so it was 5.5 hours if you include the pre-show. And I think they do that every time for those pay-per-views.
He just Sting signed again with AEW, but he says it's more of a Legends contract. So, but we'll see. I could see him being dumb enough to get back in the ring.
I hope not. And that last match, Darby Allin didn't die. Nobody in the crowd was injured, luckily. I think they best just let sleeping dogs lie. Because if they were having another Sting's last match, Darby Allin would stick to his word and die in that match.
I say that Darby Allin, everywhere he goes, he's in his gimmick. Really? I've seen a bunch of pictures of him. Like he was at a football game, and he was in his pink coat and his face painted. I saw something else, and he's in his pink coat with his face painted, like in just weird places. But
yeah, I think that was a staged public appearance at a Jaguars game.
Was it a Jaguars game? Maybe that's what it was. But I saw another thing that was not. It just seemed like he was just out and about.
Oh yeah,
like maybe in an airport.
People were making fun of him on that Jaguars clip because they introduced him to the crowd, and like the crowd sound did not even change. Like nobody cared. It was like during a commercial break, because they stopped the football game while they take TV commercial breaks, TV timeout, just like in basketball. And they, they're like, how they do, like, hey, be sure to stay tuned at halftime. We've got Gunther Chervez and his flying monkey riding squirrel dogs, for halftime. Oh, and by the way, in the crowd with us tonight is Darby Allin, AEW wrestling star. Let's say hey to Darby. And everybody's just talking. No pop whatsoever. And I know the people are looking up like the casual wrestling fans. You remember that? I don't think I've ever seen that guy on SmackDown. He looks too young to have wrestled with Stone Cold, and so that's what I feel like happened at that. I don't know, but
yeah,
poor on Darby. Y'all need to feed that cat. I thought I heard him meowing earlier.
No, we feed these fat cats all the time. These cats are spoiled.
Yeah.
They don't even they have access to food at all times.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we're bad cat parents.
Well, I fed my neighbor's cat when he was out of town a few months ago, and that cat would allow me one pet when I came in the door because he knew I was going to feed him. And once I put his food down, he would run back to the couch and stand by the door like, okay, you can leave now, asshole. I mean, that's what his eyes told me, you know, so I got to give cats credit, man. They're pretty low maintenance. I mean, if your duty is just to feed them, they want you to feed them and get the hell out of their house. So, so, you know, I didn't mind it at all. But anyway, we're going to get out of here, folks. Be sure you join us Saturday night for Fright Night. It's going to be all kinds of fun. Free candy for the kids if you get there early for the trunk or treat. And just a whole lot of fun for everybody. So, and it's going to be some weird, strange stuff going on there too. And who's going to get buried alive? Could this be the end for Justin Flash? I certainly hope not. He's got little kids still. So, but anyway, we'll see if Justin Flash can turn back the challenge of the Soul Taker plus lots more coming up this Saturday night at Veterans Park. So, for Brian and Reagan Danzig, I am Mad Matt Carter and Rick Diesel, who disappeared into cyberspace a long time ago. We'll see you next time, wrestling fans. And until then, so long for now.